The marijuana dilemma. Marijuana should be legal for both medicinal and recreational purposes in all states. In a 2015 article by Dr. McCullough, it states that the medical use of marijuana is now legal in 23 states. There's an estimate that 95% of Americans are in favor of the legalization for medicinal use, and 60% are in favor of the legalization for recreational use. My argument number one is the reason why marijuana was made illegal in the first place and classified as a Schedule I drug was not justified. In an article, How Did Marijuana Become Illegal in the First Place, by Dr. Burnett and Dr. Ryman, it states that the known use of marijuana dates back to before 7000 BC. Historically, marijuana was known as the hemp plant, and in fact in 1619 was part of the must grow law, which required farmers to grow in times of shortage, and if they didn't, they would be jailed. Now, Americans were familiar with hemp. They also used the term cannabis because it was in their medicines. After the Mexican Revolution, the United States had a large influx of Mexicans, especially in the southern states. And there became some concern because with the Mexicans came their customs and cultures, and one of those was to use marijuana both for medicinal purposes and for relaxation purposes, or what we call recreational purposes. So newspapers started spreading rumors that Mexicans were committing crime, Mexican men were committing crimes, and these crimes were caused by the result of their use of marijuana. The United States wanted to be able to control their customs as well as an excuse to search, detain, and deport the Mexican immigrants. So they passed what's called the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. Now later this act was abolished. It was replaced by the Controlled Substance Act. The Schaefer Commission advised President Nixon, who was president at the time, that really marijuana didn't fit underneath that category, that they did not consider it to be an illicit drug. And also, one of the classifications for a Schedule I was that it had no medicinal purpose. But President Nixon did not take their advice. The reason marijuana, a plant that has been legal and in use longer than it has been illegal, did not have a legitimate reason to be classified, to be made illegal or classified as a Schedule I drug. Argument number two, marijuana has more medical benefits than alcohol. In a 2015 article by Kevin Lauria and Jennifer Welsh in the Business Insider, they list 21 medical benefits of marijuana. One of those is to increase the appetite after chemotherapy, glaucoma, it treats epileptic seizures, Dravet syndrome, and anxiety. It can reverse the lung damage from smoking, as well as lessen side effects from hepatitis C treatment. It can relieve symptoms of arthritis, as well as increase metabolism and soothe tremors of Parkinson's disease. Research from the University of Nottingham shows that marijuana can help protect the brain after a stroke or concussion. PTSD is one of the number one reasons for getting a prescription for medical marijuana in the state of New Mexico. It can also treat multiple sclerosis, seizure disorders, poor appetite, weight loss, nerve pain, and Crohn's disease, according to Ann Harding on WebMD. Although pain still remains one of the number one reasons for the use of medicinal marijuana. There's animal studies that show that it kills cancer cells. Now, alcohol consumption, which is legal, according to Kathleen Dehaney on WebMD, there are benefits to drinking alcohol, but only one well known, and that's for heart disease. And this is for men over the age of 40 and women over the age of 50. So as you can see by the long list of medicinal purposes, that marijuana does in fact have more medicinal purpose and quality than alcohol. My third argument, marijuana really doesn't have any more side effects than alcohol use. An article on WebMD by Stephanie Watson states that the short-term use of marijuana can cause trouble thinking and remembering, bloodshot eyes, dry mouth, fast heart rate, and slow coordination. It can cause lung problems, lung damage, as well as anxiety and depression. Also, a National Institute on Drug Abuse states that it can alter your senses, change your mood, impair your body movements, difficulty with thinking, and also problem solving. Long-term physical side effects are breathing problems, increased heart rate, And back to the breathing problems, it can cause some lung damage if you're smoking it rather than using some other means. It can cause temporary paranoia as well as some mental disorders like hallucination. Now, according to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, there are 18.2 million people that meet the standard criteria for alcohol abuse or alcoholism. Now, alcohol's short term, obviously, it changes the way the brain looks and works, changes your mood, changes your behavior. Alcohol plays a role in 1 in 3 violent crimes. 16,000 automobile accidents are attributed, or deaths, fatal accidents are attributed to alcohol use as well. The long-term side effects obviously are one of the biggest. It's high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, liver damage, liver disease, digestive problems, and also cancer of the breast, mouth, liver, and throat, as well as colon. It can cause learning problems, dementia, depression, and anxiety. Not to mention accidents are increased with the use of alcohol, drownings, burnings, and obviously motor vehicle accidents. So as you can see by that long list, that alcohol, which is a legal drug, actually has more adverse side effects than marijuana, which is an illegal drug. And also to note, alcohol poisoning can happen, and it also can be fatal, not to mention irreversible brain damage. And it only takes about 15 to 30 beers more, if you can get drunk on 3 beers, to actually be fatal, whereas marijuana is not known to be a fatal drug.